It is a split session across global markets, and the divergence tells an important story. Welcome to MTRS_Market Pulse. Here is your complete global indices roundup for August 12th. The market is lacking a clear catalyst today, leading to choppy, two-way price action. Let us go region by region across the major global indices. Starting with the Americas session. S&P 500 is trading lower by -0.32%, at $7,728.20. Equity markets are responding to reports that Micron technology stock is cheaper than the S&P 500 and the NASDAQ 100. Here's why I'm still not buying it. Fool.com. NASDAQ 100 slipped -0.33% to $29,525. Investor sentiment is being shaped by GDP is still the GOAT of economic statistics despite its many flaws, the Economic Times. Dow Jones slipped -0.34% to $53,792. Investor sentiment is being shaped by Dow Jones, NASDAQ, S&P 500 weekly preview, inflation data, more tech earnings due investing.com. Starting with the Europe session. DAX ticked up +0.27% to €26,391. Traders are reacting to news that US oil rises above $83 a barrel as Iran says Strait of Hormuz won't open until conditions are met. FTSE 100 is broadly flat at £10,844, awaiting a fresh catalyst. Investor sentiment is being shaped by Dow Jones, NASDAQ, S&P 500 weekly preview, inflation data, more tech earnings due investing.com. Starting with the Asia session. Nikkei 225 is up +2.08%, trading at 66,970 yen. Currency markets are reacting to understanding the role of the European Central Bank Encyclopaedia Britannica. Hang Seng is up +1.05%, trading at 25,937 Hong Kong dollars. Investor sentiment is being shaped by Dow Jones, NASDAQ, S&P 500 weekly preview, inflation data, more tech earnings due investing.com. Kospi is up +1.39%, trading at 6,345.53 Korean wons. Investor sentiment is being shaped by GDP is still the GOAT of economic statistics despite its many flaws, the Economic Times. Nifty 50 slipped -0.40% to 24,472 Indian rupees. Equity markets are responding to reports that Micron technology stock is cheaper than the S&P 500 and the NASDAQ 100. Here's why I'm still not buying it. Fool.com. Sensex is trading lower by -0.44%, at 78,154 Indian rupees. Equity markets are responding to reports that Micron technology stock is cheaper than the S&P 500 and the NASDAQ 100. Here's why I'm still not buying it. Fool.com. ASX 200 is little changed, hovering near 9,250 Australian dollars and 60 cents. This comes as China is now the world's great oil power, The Economist, adding pressure to energy markets. Now, a look at some of India's most active stocks in the news today. SBI is down -2.84%, trading at 1,066 Indian rupees. Investor sentiment is being shaped by SPI Q1 results. Profit rises 10.2% to 21,121 crore Indian rupees. NI jumps 15%. Outlookbusiness.com. The Yono digital banking platform is building a retail liability moat. Corporate loan book quality, the historical weak spot, is now at decade-best levels. The dividend policy has become more generous. Watch for any RBI guidance on priority sector lending norms that could affect cost ratios. Infosys edged higher +1.33% to 1,190.70 Indian rupees. Equity markets are responding to reports that Micron technology stock is cheaper than the S&P 500 and the NASDAQ 100. Here's why I'm still not buying it. Fool.com. The annual revenue guidance range is the single most important event. Any upgrade above the current midpoint is a catalyst for the entire IT sector. Cobalt AI platform deal wins are the differentiation story. Watch the large deal TCV and the revenue conversion timeline. Wipro dropped sharply -1.56% to 184.60 Indian rupees. Equity markets are responding to reports that Micron Technology stock is cheaper than the S&P 500 and the NASDAQ 100. Here's why I'm still not buying it. Fool.com. AI services revenue, particularly enterprise AI implementation projects, is the emerging differentiation story. The EBIT margin target of 17 to 17.5% is on track. Watch U.S. financial services deal activity as the indicator of whether demand is genuinely recovering. Now let us look at what is driving these moves at the macro level. On the geopolitical front, traders are reacting to news that U.S. oil rises above $83 a barrel as Iran says Strait of Hormuz won't open until conditions are met. This is adding a risk premium across energy markets and supporting safe haven demand. Investor sentiment is being shaped by Dow Jones, NASDAQ, S&P 500 weekly preview, inflation data, more tech earnings due investing.com. Rate expectations remain the single most powerful macro driver for equities and currencies right now. On the data front, investor sentiment is being shaped by Dow Jones, NASDAQ, S&P 500 weekly preview, inflation data, more tech earnings due investing.com. And looking at how some of the biggest global names are trading today. Samsung made a dramatic move today, surged plus 4.13% to 239,500 Korean wons. Equity markets are responding to reports that Samsung, Broadcom reached $200 billion RE memory chip deal manufacturing dive. The HBM supply competition with SK Hynix is the defining story. Samsung needs to close the yield gap to win hyperscaler HBM contracts. Consumer DRAM pricing is recovering as inventory normalizes. Watch for any Nvidia or Google qualification update on Samsung HBM. Alphabet made a dramatic move today, plunged minus 3.84% to $343.80. Investor sentiment is being shaped by Alphabet delivers strong earnings as Google Cloud accelerates, TradingView. Search revenue resilience in an AI disruption environment is the primary debate. AI overviews are monetizing better than feared, and YouTube is accelerating. Google Cloud is now a credible number 3 player. The wildcard is the DOJ antitrust remedy. Any forced structural change would be a significant multiple derating event. ASML made a dramatic move today, surged plus 3.80% to $1,799.38. Equity markets are responding to reports that semiconductor equipment faces supply shortages as well. ASML says next year's orders are already secured. The EUV monopoly is one of the strongest competitive moats in all of technology. AI chip demand for the most advanced nodes directly benefits ASML without the execution risk of being a chip maker. Watch for any update on the 2026 to 2027 capacity shipment schedule. Let us give you our near-term view on the Nikkei 225. The near-term technical picture for Nikkei 225 looks constructive. Watch the 69,649 yen level as the first meaningful resistance zone. A close above there on decent volume would be an encouraging sign for bulls. As always, this is analytical commentary, not financial advice. To summarize, 4 indices in the green, 8 in the red today. A clear risk-off tone is prevailing across global equities. Before we wrap up, here is your watch list for the sessions ahead. Keep a close eye on central bank speakers and rate commentary, and key economic data releases. Any one of these could be the catalyst that defines the next major directional move. We do the research so you do not have to hours of analysis distilled into actionable daily briefings. If that is valuable, please hit the like button. It is the single best way to support independent market analysis and help us reach more investors. Subscribe and turn on notifications for tomorrow's briefing. Drop your view in the comments. Are you bullish or bearish from here? That wraps up today's coverage from MTRS_Market Pulse. This content is for educational purposes only, not financial advice. Always do your own research. Stay disciplined, and we will see you tomorrow. That is your global indices roundup from MTRS_Market Pulse. Subscribe for daily updates across every major market.